Christopher Garguilio's blog has been quietly making the case that home ownership is less out of reach than most people assume. In this episode, that argument gets very specific. We're looking at VA home loan benefits and what veterans often get wrong about them. Let's start with what most veterans don't actually know about the benefit they've already earned. The core tension here is a gap between perception and reality. Nearly half of veterans believe home ownership is currently out of reach, but the Post argues the VA loan benefit quietly removes several of the biggest barriers, and most veterans don't know the full picture. The survey data from New Day USA frames it directly. Many respondents guessed they'd need to save somewhere between $10,000 and $19,900 before they could buy. That's years of saving for an upfront cost that isn't always required. That's the crux of it. The down payment assumption is costing veterans years of waiting for a hurdle that with a VA loan may not exist at all. Zero down is the headline perk, but it's not the only one. Closing costs are the second surprise. The Department of Veterans Affairs places limits on the types of closing costs VA buyers have to pay, so more money stays in your pocket on closing day. Stack that on top of no required down payment, and the buying timeline compresses considerably. Then there's PMI, private mortgage insurance. With a conventional loan, you could be paying $100 to $300 a month until you hit 20% equity. The Post puts it plainly. VA loans typically require none of that, even with low or no money down. Over time, that's thousands of dollars in difference. So no down payment, lower closing costs, no PMI. That's three separate line items veterans may be mentally budgeting for that could be zero. Honestly, the misconception is doing a lot of heavy lifting. And there's a fourth piece that's easy to overlook. For active duty and qualifying reservists, basic allowance for housing and basic allowance for subsistence, BAH and BAS, may count toward income qualification.
Both are non-taxable, which can raise the qualifying amount further. The Post's bottom line is a practical one. Connect with a trusted lender who can walk through whether you qualify, because the numbers may look very different than you assumed. The through line is that the gap between "I can't afford this" and "I actually can" is often a knowledge gap, which is a more actionable problem. For up-to-date information on the real estate industry, subscribe to Real Estate with Mr. G.blog.